G'day mates, Ordinary Average Guy here, and today I'm going to be doing my full review of the Leatherman T2. I did an unboxing of this thing last maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've been carrying a bit, and thought I'd give you guys my thoughts about this thing. So this is the T2. This is part of the new Free series by Leatherman. And just to do some housekeeping, last week I said that it didn't look like you had to register it. I lied. You do have to register it. Now, I didn't contact Leatherman and ask him if that means if you don't register it, they won't cover it under their 25-year warranty, which I think is one of the best in the business. I really hope not. I hate crap like that. I don't, if you purchase a tool, it doesn't matter how far down the line you purchase it. A company, with as good of a warranty as Leatherman, I don't think you should have to register it. I mean, that's what made Leatherman so great, was that just how they would unquestionably fix or replace your tool for you if you broke it. Just to give you a little background on myself, I used to work in the field for several different event agencies, and I used to do repairs. So I'd repair electrical, hydraulic. I'd work in the field constantly, and I always had a Leatherman on me, a Leatherman or a Swiss tool on me. So I was very excited with the release of the new Free series. I did a review of the P2. Wasn't very impressed by it, I'm going to tell you that much. So I had a much more open mind. I'm looking forward to the T series and the K series that's coming out. It should be in July. So either way, there you go. I do have I love multi-tools. I'll just say that I own, I don't know, 7 or 8 different multi-tools, and I love them and I use them constantly. So I was kind of excited about this. This is sort of in direct competition with like the Victorinox Tinkers. Let me see if I can pull this up for you real quick. Like the sort of the mid-size Victorinox tools that they have. Sort of like this guy. This is the Tinker. It's sort of the same size. When I first saw it, I thought it would be smaller, but it's about the same as the medium size Victorinox, and it sort of has the same sort of tool set as that does. So, you got a knife on it. It's got an awl and a small screwdriver. As you can see, that the awl sort of flattens out at the end. You've got the 2D sort of Phillips head screwdriver here with a bottle cap opener, and you've got this guy right here, which is sort of a couple tools in one. This is a flathead screwdriver, and it's actually a pretty nice flathead. Fits your standard like light socket flathead screw. It's got a clamshell opener right there, and it's also a pry bar. So, it's a nice thick chunk of metal too, as you can see there. So, and we'll talk about that tool more here in a little bit. So, let's talk about the likes. What I really liked about this tool. So, I do like the pocket clip on this thing, albeit that I had to purchase it separately. We'll get into that later. It is a nice pocket clip, though. I think that they've drastically improved their pocket clip game. You used to have to slip the pocket clip into like one of these little slots right here on the back, and it would kind of just hang there, and it could pop loose. And I think that this, where it actually screws into the handle, is a vast improvement by Leatherman. And it actually has recessed screws, as you can see. Recessing your screws does 2 things. First of all, it avoids the top of the screw catching on your pocket when it goes into your pocket, and it also holds the clip right into place where it needs to be. The concaveness of the screw will go down into the clip, into the recessed portion of the clip, and actually hold it directly into place where it needs to be. So, do like the clip on it. It is a nice clip, nice deep carry on it. Carries much better for righty than it does lefty, but it's a right-handed world. I do like the shape of this thing. It does, when you hold it in your hand, it actually feels pretty nice. It has some good grip because of the jimping here and the jimping down here, and also the texture on this handle. It's sort of this, it's got these dimples in it, and it feels pretty good in hand. And I do like the shape of it. I do love the blade on this thing. Just a little guy. Just to give you an idea how big it is about 2¼ inches long. So, I don't know if you live in a place where with legalities and about blade length, but it is a nice blade, and it's placed in a good spot too. You can see the how it actually sits below the handle of the tool, and I like that. So it's got a nice hollow grind. You can see the grind on it. It's a hollow grind, which means you can it'll have give more life to the blade the further you sharpen it back. Albeit it's 420, I think 420 HC. It's a that's pretty much standard with all Leathermans, unless you get like the upgraded Charge, which has 154 cm. I think they have an S30V version now. This is 420 HC though. I do like the shape of it too. It's got this sort of. I wasn't very impressed by the blade shape on the P series, but I do like this one. I like how it has this sort of belly and it's almost like a Tonto tip. Wasn't super impressed by the grind. Leatherman always had great grinds, but I'm starting to get over it. And it does have a nice little sharpening choil there, which a lot of their knives did not. Like you can see, this didn't have a sharpening choil. The Skeletal doesn't have a sharpening choil, and the Skeletal does have a sharpening choil. I misspoke, but there you go. This one does have a sharpening choil for you. Nice, cool blade shape. It is a smaller blade, but if you're using it for cutting open straps or boxes or whatever, it's a cool little blade, and it's good for most utility type tasks. This is a cool locking mechanism. I do like this, and it's nice that this does have a locking mechanism. I think the biggest issue with the Tinkerer or any Victorinox is if you're using the Phillips, it's on the bottom there, and if you're really trying to bear down on something, it can break on you because it's not locked. So it is nice that this does have this locking mechanism. I'll show you how it works. You can see I'll show you the tang of the blade here. See how it kind of comes down, pushes the lock that way. It's got a little curve to the bottom right here with a little point on it. So when the blade comes around, you can see it's got this little nick right here. When it comes around, that little curve goes right into that nick and is a really good solid lock. It's a good solid locking mechanism, and I think it works great for this tool. Very easy to open and close too. The locking mechanism is easy to actuate, I should say. It is fairly lightweight for its size. I mean, it's a bigger tool. Check it out. I mean, it is almost the same size as this, as the Skeletal here. And it comes in at right about 3 ounces. I think it's 3.3 ounces. So, it's a nice lightweight tool. I carried it and it just kind of disappears in your 3.3 ounces. So it just sort of disappears in your pocket. Nice lightweight tool. And it's, definitely for its size. It's a big beefy tool, so, and it is lightweight for that. I really like how the tools line. They put a lot of thought into this, I can tell, but how the tools line up into the center of the handle, almost perfectly in the center. And when you're using it, it is great. I hate it when like you can see like with these. I'll show you like with the Charge, which is sort of the same as a Wave. It's on the side of the tool, so when you're spinning it, it's on the outside spinning around. If you get what I mean. This one is right in the center. So it works great, and that's the same with all these tools. I was using this to change some a light switch cover, and this one fits great into that light switch standard screw, and it's nice because it's right in the middle. And it's especially good with flathead. With a flathead, if it's on the edge, you're moving it around and it's slipping out of the screw head and all that. So I do like how these are nice and centered in the middle of the handle. And it does feel good too because it's such a thick handle on this thing. It's easy to use when you're using the screwdriver. I did change my mind about this tool here, this guy. This is the clamshell. I wasn't a big fan of it on the P series, but it is actually quite a handy little tool. It's a great little pry bar. It is actually a very good screwdriver. And, this sharpened edge here is great for opening not just clamshell package, but anything where it's sort of dangerous to use a knife, because it is flat on this edge, but it does have this sharpened edge here. So I've changed my mind about it. It's a nice thick chunk of metal here, so you can really pry on stuff and really use it to beat the crap out of. So nice tool there. So what really bugged me about this thing was I had to purchase this clip separately. That started this thing off just as a real bummer for me. I think I paid $40 for it, $39.95, and then I had to pay $15 for the clip to get shipped to me. Leatherman, please. I mean, this thing is not a small thing that you can just throw in the bottom of your pocket. It needs a clip, or at least a sheath. You included nothing with it. Just you could have put at least the lanyard on it. Anything. There was nothing. So if you've got the holes drilled for the pocket clip, are you trying to make an extra $7 selling pocket clips and pissing people off? Because it bummed me out big time. Sell the pocket clip with it, include a pocket clip. It needs a bloody pocket clip. This is the same, now that I had to purchase this separate, this is the same price as the upgraded, or the bigger version of the T4. So, and which includes a pocket clip. Why wouldn't you include a pocket clip with this one? I don't know. Get at me, Leatherman. Let me know why you didn't. What was your thinking there? The knife is actually really, really difficult to open on this thing one-handed. And I'll show you what I mean. When you're opening it, it's in a difficult spot. So you see how you have to curve your fingers around. What happens is you start to push on this handle, and because it's so tough to open, look at where my finger is right now. See this guy? It's actually touching the blade right now. So which means that when this opens, my finger is now underneath the blade. I'm actually kind of sweating this right now, but here. I actually had this thing come down. Luckily, it hit my nail, but I could easily see this thing. It's so sharp. I could easily see this thing lopping off the end of one of your fingers. It is bloody sharp and bloody dangerous. I mean, look at this. Just especially if you're in a rush, like you got to really think about it. And look, now I've got 2 fingers touching the blade of the knife now as I'm opening it. That is really dangerous, guys. And I'm not one of these guys who bubble wrap the world. I'm not a helicopter parent. I would think that with a tool like this, safety would be paramount for your customers, Leatherman. And this is it's very dangerous to open. It's very difficult to open. And you look at that. Your finger is now right underneath the blade. So if you drop that, which is definitely a possibility, you can cut your finger. So look, it's very difficult to open, very dangerous to open, which sort of makes this a two-handed open for the knife. Which if, you're competing with Victorinox, that does, it is a nail nick open knife. And I would definitely, if you're using this thing, I would definitely recommend using 2 hands to open the blade of this knife. It's dangerous. It's hard to open. It's difficult to open one-handed. I think if you'd just made this hole a little bit bigger here, sort of more like a Spyderco hole, I think you would have just made this thing a lot safer. I know you're trying to make it look sleeker, but I think safety would come before, looking cool. Or even you could even make this hole a little bigger right here and make just making this hole a little more accessible. It's just either that or it spins in your hand. It's just a pain in the ass to open. You can do it lefty. If you're a lefty like me, you can do it. Once again, it's dangerous though. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend opening this thing two-handed with a knife anyway. The awl is also in a very dangerous. I'm gonna repeat myself here. I am not a bubble wrap the world kind of guy. I think people, need to calm down about a lot of things, but this is very unsafe. Look at me. When you push this open, to get the awl by itself, you have to literally push on the sharpened edge of this awl. I mean, this is a sharp awl. It's really sharp. And when you push on it, you're actually pushing your finger up very bad design. In my opinion, very bad design flaw, and once again, dangerous. So don't like it at all. Look, this thing overall, it's got a lot of plastic on it, sure. I've heard people complain about that, very plasticky. I think that really helps alleviate a lot of the weight on this thing, and it really helps keep the price down on it. But like I said, you're then having to go out and purchase a $15 pocket clip, otherwise you're carrying this thing in pocket. Leatherman, come on, guys. I love your stuff, and you're making this really hard for me to give you guys a good review on your tools. To me, this once again feels unfinished, just like the P series. It feels like it was untested. It has some great qualities to it. I love the knife. I love it how it's not, it's not one of these big, aggressive knives on it. It's definitely safe for a corporate environment. You could pull this thing out and not scare anybody with it. It's got all the tools on it you need. Those are probably the most used tools that I use. It's going to be a flathead, a Phillips head, and a knife. I mean, those are the most tools that I would use. It does have this little tiny screwdriver awl on it too, which can come in handy. But it just, to me, you could have just done a couple things, made this hole a bit bigger to make this knife safer to open. you know, I don't know how you would have fixed this all situation, but there's got to be a way that you could do it. You really have to think about it when you're opening it and to slice your finger with it. So, you know, once again, I can't highly recommend this thing. I mean, if you really want one, if you think that those tools are necessary, you don't want a big bloody knife. This is a cool tool. I could definitely recommend it for certain situations, but you know, it to me once again feels unfinished. It does. So buyer beware. You know, you'll see that situation. I've talked to a couple people on Instagram who've run in the same thing with it being very hard to open the knife, and you know, I just think a little more product testing by Leatherman and actually fixing the issues. It, you know, once again, guys, it just feels unfinished. So there you go. I hope you like the review, guys. I really want to give Leatherman a good review. I love their stuff. I love their tools. I love, you know, Leatherman's warranty program. I've had so much stuff fixed by them. I really want to give one of their products a good review, and I just haven't been able to. I'm really looking forward to the K series coming out, the knife. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, guys. I may give it away, or I may sell it or give it away. But you know, once again, I don't know. I just gave it a bad review, so I don't know. Or not a great review anyway, so I don't know who'd want to win this thing. But anyway, hope you liked it, guys. Hope you liked the review. I'm trying to stay as honest as I can with this stuff. Last night, I was going to do it because it's the 5th of July today. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy birthday, America. I was going to do a review on my American-made knives, but the fireworks started going off and my dog started freaking out, so I had a 90-pound puppy dog under my legs freaking out over the fireworks. So, you know, I couldn't get it done. Hopefully I'll get it done today, though. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Just please subscribe and like to my channel. Hit the little bell so you get my new videos, and, you know, hope you liked it, guys. Follow me on Instagram. I'm giving knives away on Instagram. I'm giving stuff away. Next week I'm going to be doing my Para 3 lightweight giveaway. I don't know exactly when yet. I'm trying to figure out how I can integrate it with my YouTube channel and my Instagram account. But I'll figure it out, and then I'm gonna give that away. I promise it'll be next week, guys. So anyway, thanks again for watching, guys, and hope you watch the next one. Adios, amigos.